Chicago is basically falling into anarchy right now. This is not the city to be. Total mayhem at Target at Clark and Roosevelt. Upwards of 100 kids ransacked the store and then threw fireworks outside the store. You also have gunfire. Basically, South Loop Chicago is out of control. North Loop is okay, but it's kind of deteriorating as well. South Loop, it's pretty bad. If you look at some of the videos and some of like the webcam and also some of the clips on X, it's not exactly the prettiest scene. A lot of cop cars, massive robberies, and just a bunch of kids running around. This is going to be present day Chicago, and no wonder so many companies are leaving. Like Boeing is gone. They went to like West Virginia. You also have guys like Citadel, Ken Griffin, whose penthouse lobby got shot up, and he lives in one of the best condo buildings in Chicago, and then his colleague got threatened with gunpoint. Yeah, no wonder he's moving to Miami. Makes sense, right? And check this out. It's not just Target, guys. All right, parts of Chicago are now becoming fried chicken deserts as 3 KFC locations shut down on the south side. This is really bad. It's a gateway for violence because when you see abandonment, there's no love, no hope for the community. And let me tell you guys, Chicago, it is empty. There is not a lot of stores in the south side. In fact, if you open any store, you're going to be getting great business under one condition. You're probably going to get robbed all the time, which is probably one of the biggest reasons why nobody's willing to open in the south side of Chicago. And where is the city with all this? Can the city do anything? No, because the city basically spends all their money every single day on the migrant crisis. They're spending $200-300 million on the migrant crisis. Imagine they spent that money on the south side of Chicago. You know how nice the south side would be? Imagine spending $200-300 million on the south side of Chicago, supporting local businesses, combating crime, combating homelessness, combating the rampant drug use and everything else about Southside and what's making it bad and make it good. I guarantee you it will actually be a somewhat desirable place to live. And this lady's saying the same thing. She's like, why are you doing the migrant crisis? You got the mayor, Brandon Johnson, in the top right-hand corner. He's taking it all. Same thing with the city council. Everyone's taking it. In fact, many people are on the side of this woman. This woman basically said that they get nothing. They pay the taxes. Nothing ever trickles down to them. She's like, my community got people sleep on the streets. They get nothing. But of course, the city could spend $200-300 million on the migrant crisis. Says the priorities are not straight. Also is very frustrated that she and her fellow community members voted the mayor and everyone else into power, but they get virtually nothing. And that's kind of like the current state right now. It's not looking so great. Residents are finally speaking up. They're sick and tired every single day. It's just a migrant crisis, and they get absolutely nothing. And that's why many residents are very, very mad. One big thing that many residents are very frustrated about is there's no more Walmarts. Walmarts are all closing down. We feel abandoned. Walmarts are closing down because of insane amounts of shoplifting. So much so that Walmart has announced their stores in the south side of Chicago and even the west side make no money. They actually lose millions of dollars every year, and it's actually beneficial for them to close the store. And we live in a capitalist society. If something doesn't make money, we quit. And that's exactly what Walmart is doing. They are closing down everything, not to mention the pharmacy locations are also closed. So you have fried chicken deserts, you have pharmacy deserts, and you got grocery deserts and much, much more. It's not looking so great. Chicago also explores the possibility of a city-owned grocery store. That should solve a lot of the problems when it comes to fresh produce. Because in Chicago, there's just a bunch of Dollar Generals that just sell like microwavable bagel bites. That's not exactly the healthiest thing to eat. You want to have places with fresh produce like bananas, apples, celery sticks. These are all healthier options, fresh produce, right? They spoil easy. That's why dollar stores don't have them. And look at this. Chicago, they've been talking about a city-owned grocery store for months now. Okay, first published back in September 2023. We've kind of gotten less and less updates. The last update was like a couple months ago. If Chicago just spends like $3 million on a few of these city-owned grocery stores, they could service many members of the South Side and help them out, especially with the massive food desert. And yes, these grocery stores will not make any money. Kansas has shown that. City-owned grocery stores lose money. But if you're spending $200-300 million in migrant crisis, maybe trickle just a few $1,000,000 down to open a city-owned grocery store to make everyone a little bit more happy. And this is kind of like why the lady was so mad here in this video. I understand her feeling. You know, all this money being poured into something that is nothing going to be beneficial for them in their community. And she has probably lived in Chicago for decades at this point and has always seen little to no improvement. And for the first time, when the city council takes out a massive amount of money for something, it's not for them. So that's really about it, guys. Let's see what happens in Chicago. I've been here for vacation a few times. It's a pretty nice city. It's very beautiful. To be honest, I think Chicago is a much better city than New York. It's cleaner, it's brighter, it's more fresh. The architecture is really nice. I like Chicago, I really do. But with the recent crime wave and also the migrant crisis, it's no longer the best place to go to. Hopefully Chicago can recover. Thanks for watching, guys, and comment below.